Frantic Nerdcast, hosted by AJ and Brock, talking about all the nerdy things that you want to hear about. Let's get into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 33 of the Frantic Nerdcast. How are you, mate?
I think it's actually episode 34 because of the way we're cutting up our episodes.
Oh, no,
now.
it is episode 34. Yeah, that is correct. I've written 33, 34 for some reason. Oh, because I have the wrong one open. Oh, no, actually. Yeah, no.
We are off to a flying start.
Yeah,
so everybody, welcome
start.
to another episode of Frantic Nerdcast. Now, last week we did mention that we're breaking the episodes down to a little bit, just to give a little bit more of a bite size for everybody at home. And unfortunately, we fucked up the second time that we've tried to do it. This is episode 34.
34, that's right. It appears that I actually haven't written any notes for this, or because something has happened to all my notes, so we're gonna go off the gun.
Off the cuff. Anyways, with this episode, we got some great things coming for you. We've got a few trailers to get through, a bit of a movie to get into as well. We'll touch on a TV show that is absolutely brilliant, and we will have fun doing all of that.
That's right. Do we want to jump into, what do you want to jump into, mate?
Let's knock the trailers out first this time.
All right. Let's get some trailers out. So what do we got trailer-wise? Let's go into Sonic number 3.
All right. So Sonic number 3, theatrical release 20th of December. We've got the director, Jeff Fowler. He's returning for the third one. So he did actually do the first two as well. And he was also involved in Knuckles, the TV show.
Did he direct Knuckles, the TV show?
I don't know if he directed it, but he was at least involved in the show itself.
Oh, okay, cool.
Starring Keanu Reeves, and I mean that's all that we need.
As soon as Shadow spoke, I was just like, yes, right there, boom. Thank you very much, sir.
So we've got Keanu Reeves, we've got Jim Carrey coming back, we've got Ben Schwartz, James Marsden, Taki Sumpter, Idris Elba, Colleen Shaughnessy, amongst many others.
It's really funny, like when Ben Schwartz talks as Sonic, I'm like, that is Sonic's voice.
Yeah.
Like that's his voice now.
Yeah.
And I don't see it any other way.
No, not at all. And it fits really well.
Yeah.
Like it just suits.
And it's funny because I went back and watched some episodes of Park and Recreation.
Oh, yeah.
And just him and the chick from Broad City doing the, we're being subtle.
You just see Sonic doing it now.
It's Sonic. I just see Sonic singing it now.
Ah, that's awesome. Look, this looks good. I've enjoyed the movies so far. They've got a good balance.
I loved them.
They're really good. And what I found, and I actually put the Knuckles TV show to have a chat about at some point as well, because it's really interesting the balance that they have between nostalgia from the show, the tie into the games, but as well as an entertaining value for both adults and their kids. So it just has that really good draw to keep kids entertained, but also keep the adults there while you're watching it. The reason I wanted to talk about Knuckles is because it's completely different for me for Knuckles. I felt Knuckles was purely for kids. Yep. It didn't have a draw for adults at all. It was far more directed at kids. But anyways, we can keep talking about it.
I found with Sonic, I was a bit worried just because I was hoping that they weren't going to go down that Transformers route of we've got these animated characters. And we're putting in the real world, therefore we have to have real world people. And it just started to focus on those real world people more than the robots.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, I don't really give a fuck about this. But Sonic, I found the first one really hit that sweet spot between the animated characters and the real world people. And then the second one, they really went, okay, the real world people are kind of going to take a back step now.
Yep.
They're still going to be there. We're still going to have an arc with them, but they were kind of just a little B story, which was funny at the times with the wedding and all that kind of stuff.
That's like the filler story.
They weren't really necessary for the movie, but they were just there to sort of keep that connection to the real world.
Yep.
But all the Sonic stuff was a lot more focused on Dr. Robotnik and Sonic, which is what the game was. And I loved they went there. And I have a feeling with this one, it's going to be like
it's going to be 80%.
The same, it's going to be like 80% the characters, I reckon, with 20%.
I think it's going to be very, very heavily revolving around Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
James whatever his Cyclops. Is he coming back? Is he
Marsden? Yeah, he's coming back.
James Marsden,
So he's coming back. So I mean, I expected them all to be there in some way, shape, or form. But I mean, really, he was a cameo previously. Like he was barely in it in the second one.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm expecting that to sort of happen again. It'll be far more around the three of them with Robotnik and Shadow. Like that's going to be what it's about.
And we get Dr. Robotnik's dad in this one,
Yes, we do.
played by Jim Carrey.
Yeah, we do.
I'm so glad Jim Carrey came back because he said he was done with it and he wasn't going to come back. So
he said that before the first one. After the first one,
I'm guessing they offered him a lot of money, but I also think he's lost that weird, crazy Hollywood person stigma now, and he's just gone back to being like, I'm happy to be in kids' movies and all that kind of stuff again, as opposed to just being that weird Nicolas Cage style human being that he went for a while. He still talks like if you watch interviews with him, he's still a very weird man.
Oh, he will be a very weird man until the day he dies. But he's been incredible in so many movies.
Shadow, like I don't know much about Shadow in the game because I think. He's also an alien.
Yeah, I don't know if he's an alien or if he's actually an experiment.
Because I feel like I think they said in the trailer he's an alien, but I'm pretty sure he's like from Sonic's planet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think.
Well, he's another hedgehog.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know much about the game lore.
No, honestly, don't know. But I mean, from the trailer that we got. It visually looks incredible again.
Oh, yes.
The story looks like it'll be that standard sort of heroes come through, heroes get beat, heroes rally, heroes overcome type thing. Whether Shadow...
Just with John Wick fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Whether the Shadow ends up being a good guy at the end as well or whether it's something else, I don't know.
I think he's an anti-hero from memory in the games, I'm pretty sure.
Well, there you go. So there'll be some sort of resolution in that way, shape or form. I didn't like in the trailer that they've straight up just said, right, they're teaming up with Robotnik. They just kind of told us how they're going to overcome it and like they're all going to come together in some way, shape or form.
But Robotnik, for a fact Robotnik in the end is going to turn on them and then that's when Shadow will have to join them and fight with them.
I mean, it's the same thing that happened in number 2 where Knuckles and Robotnik joined up and then Robotnik turned on Knuckles, et cetera, et cetera. I would have preferred to not seen that link with look at Robotnik, yep, great. Watch him slapping his gut when he turns around, brilliant. But not have the tie-in with the trio. I think just leave that.
I wonder if they're going to bring in any of the, because they haven't shown it in the trailer, which obviously I'm guessing they're going to keep as a surprise, but whether they're going to bring any of the other characters in.
Who knows?
Well, only one I know is Amy. That's just because that's my wife's name. And that's like it's like the cat chick, I think, from memory.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But in saying that as well, I mean, I figured when we got the second one, right, we're going to get a trilogy. I honestly thought the trilogy would sort of wrap it up for the time being. But from what I understand, I had a bit of a look and apparently number 4 is coming out in 2026. So they're just going to keep on keeping on, which is fair enough. I'm not surprised.
Especially if they start losing the side actors. It's all they're paying for is extras and Jim Carrey, essentially.
Exactly. 100%.
Oh, and voice talent, but I imagine it's cheaper to pay someone to do voice than it is to have them on set every day kind of thing. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm keen for this to come out. It as you said, the first 2 were a lot of fun. They were good movies. I'm keen for this one to be fun and a good movie again. I think Keanu will add that, or Shadow will add that little bit of a dark edge to the show. And like I said, comparing to the Knuckles TV show, it does have more of an appeal and a draw for the younger audience as well as the older audience.
I haven't watched it yet.
Knuckles?
Yeah.
The thing for me with Knuckles is fine. You can have a watch of it, but it's very easy. Well, it was very easy for me to get distracted and just sort of go looking for something else to do because it was just I found very, very focused at a much younger audience.
Okay, yeah.
And even like some of the things that were said and done, it was just on that very silly, childish, immature side of things to appeal to kids. I think one of the reasons that they may have done it, or my opinion, is that Sonic, it was always going to be theatrical release.
Yep.
So because it was a theatrical release, I mean, to get the kids there, you've also got to get the parents there. You've got to keep the parents there.
Yeah.
Like you sort of have to get that
Whereas
draw.
when it's at home, you don't have to keep the parents.
Exactly. When it's at home, all you need to do is put the kids down and the kids are there to watch it in some way, shape or form. I think because of that, they made Knuckles for kids.
Yeah.
And because of that, I felt like it lost what the Sonic movies had going for them as like good movies and good things to watch. Yeah, Knuckles, just go give it a watch. It's nothing special. It was very easy to get distracted.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, on to trailer number 2 for this episode, Never Let Go.
All right, Never Let Go. US release the 20th September, so it's just around the corner. Director Alexandre Aja? AJA? Aja. Cool.
Yeah, Aja.
He has a last name. He did Crawl, the Gators in the Crawl Space movie that came out a few years ago, like a bunch of, I don't know if it was alligators or crocodiles. There was, it was literally in the crawl space of an American home during a storm, and they would just, alligators trying to get them. It was a cool, silly concept, cool movie.
Can't say I've seen that one, buddy.
Give it a go.
Can't say I've seen that.
He did Horns with Daniel Radcliffe.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, great movie. So he did that. He did Piranha 3D.
Wait, did he do 3D or 3 double D?
3D.
Because 3 double D is the most brilliant marketing title ever.
Anywho, Mirrors. That was an awesome like horror thriller from 2008.
Mirrors was fantastic. That was Karen Gillan.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she was the sister in the movie, and it was fantastic. And I loved the ending.
I haven't watched it in ages, but yeah, it
when
was.
She gets trapped in the mirror at the end.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm just trying to think. I might be getting a couple of wires crossed here, but was Sutherland in that as well? Kiefer?
Oh wait, are we thinking the same movie? No, because the Karen Gillan one's not like that one. That may not have been called Mirrors. Because there was the Kiefer Sutherland mirror one where his kid got taken into the other side of the mirror and he had to come to the other side of the mirror.
Let's have a look. Because I think there was a couple. Because there was...
Because then there's the one with the mirror where it's Karen Gillan and another dude and they're like brother and sister and their mum went mental and tried to kill them when they were younger.
I think that's the second one.
No, they're not connected, those two movies.
Really?
No. This one was like a super low budget.
No, this one... Yeah, so this one's got Kiefer.
Yeah, so that's
2008.
That's a different
Sutherland.
movie. That's a different movie. The one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
That's like more. I think it was like a remake of a Japanese or Korean film,
potentially,
or something like that. But yeah, he had to go into like into the mirror universe and like collect his kid who'd been taken by the mirror monsters, kind of thing. Yeah.
Anyways, I thought it was great, and it actually I'm just having a look now. It has Cameron Boyce in it, who was a chap who unfortunately died at the age of 20.
Show us the picture.
That guy.
Oh yeah. He was in what was it called?
Paradise City.
Paradise City. That was it. Yeah, it was with Andy Biersack from Black Veil Brides.
Yep.
Which was a spin-off of a movie. It was like a continuation of a movie called American Satan, I think it was called.
No, I'm not sure.
But it also had Opie from Sons of Anarchy in the TV series.
Yeah. So I watched.
And he's got his long hair back.
Yeah, I watched bits and pieces of it, and Shan.
It was a great show. It was really good.
Shan watched it, and I sort of picked up a little bits and pieces of it. I'm like, this is pretty fucking cool.
Because
I thrashed the soundtrack.
Well, in the movie for that, they it's got old mate from Clockwork Orange, Malcolm McDonald. Is that his name?
Oh, no idea.
But he's essentially Satan, and like they make a deal with the devil to become famous when they first get to Hollywood.
Sure.
And it's this whole thing about Andy Biersack, like right at the end of it, he like pulls a gun out on stage in front of like thousands of people and shoots him.
Yeah, right.
But but it's all this mind fuck, and he shoots the chick because the chick's a different actor in the movie than it is in the series, and he's in jail, and that's where he gets out of jail at the start of the series.
Right.
And that was a great one.
So just to circle back a little bit, guys,
So
if you are listening, we as Frantic Nerdcast for a reason, we get fucking sidetracked here, which is all part of the fun. So yeah, he did Mirrors, the one with Kiefer Sutherland.
The one with Kiefer Sutherland, not Karen Gillan.
He also did The Hills Have Eyes. So he has made
that was a remake too.
It was a wide spread of films that are just good, but they're just across a variety of different things.
Okay, so we're actually going to explain what this movie's about?
Yeah, we are now.
Yep.
No, not yet. Starring.
Okay.
So starring. Halle Berry. So she's good in the thriller horror type movies. I mean, The Call, Perfect Stranger, Gothica. She's great ranged as well as an actor. I mean, X-Men, Cloud Atlas, Swordfish, to The Union that recently came out that she's in on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but it looks okay.
And the one she actually won. What's the one she won the award for with Billy Bob Thornton? She won like the Oscar for it. and that was when she got up on stage and like cried and like all that kind of stuff.
That wasn't the call, was it?
No, and it had like she was like a mum and like the son got killed and like Billy Bob Thornton was racist. And they end up fucking in a very, very full frontal sex scene.
No, I don't think I've seen that.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, she won the Oscar for it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, right. No, don't know that one. Anywho, the other actors are a little lesser known and younger. It doesn't seem like there's going to be too many actors within it, more so around Halle Berry and her twin sons. So gave too much away, but it looks really, really fucking cool.
I mean, I honestly, I didn't, from the trailer, because it was a very fast cut trailer.
Yes, it was.
And it didn't really give away much of the actual story, but it gave away a lot of what was going to happen, if that makes sense.
I think, and what I did is I went through, had a look at the cast and director and all that sort of stuff. And then I found like a quick synopsis of the show as
like
well.
A post-apocalyptic world or something.
I don't know if it actually is. Because so the synopsis is that a family consisting of a mother and her twin sons has suffered from the torment of a malicious spirit for many years. However, when one of the boys starts to doubt the existence of evil, the family's sacred bond is broken, leading to dangerous fight for survival. So it's one of those things where once I read that, I actually became more intrigued because is it
that doesn't really match the trailer.
Well, that's what I mean. Is it because when I watched the trailer, I thought it was post-apocalyptic as well.
It looks like it's been like a zombie outbreak or something. But if they're connected to the house, they don't get taken or anything like that by the zombies. But then it's all got to do with like the chains breaking and shit.
So when I seen, because of the drawback to the house, I didn't go down the zombie route. I went more down that spiritual like possession type thing. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it's going to be a possession movie. She's going to be possessed in some way, shape or form. There's evil and then they've got to break that. So I kind of went down that pathway of we've seen too much in the trailer. Yeah. And then I read that. And also while I was watching it, I did think along the lines of maybe it was post-apocalyptic because it had that aura about it
in the trailer.
Once I read this, I kind of thought, maybe it literally is a lady who had some form of bad experience, whether it was an actual possession or not. She's literally packed up, taken her kids out to the forest in the woods and is literally just completely off grid by herself and is telling her kids all the time, there is evil, great evil, et cetera, whereas she might actually just be like severely troubled and going through like some mad mental health issues and how that actually comes across.
Now you said that, I feel like we're going to get a Shittalon twist at the end where the kids are actually dead and it's just her.
I don't think it'll be that
mentally fucked up.
I don't think it'll be that. I'd agree with like the her having issues and whatnot, like mental issues that she's got to like sort of deal with. But I think the kids will be bearing the brunt of it and how they go through that. So when I watched the trailer, thought it looked cool, but thought we'd seen the story. When I read this synopsis, it fucking twisted everything, and I'm like, I actually don't know what the fuck we're going to get now. So I'm more intrigued now that I've read that. I'm very keen to watch it. I'm keen to see how it comes across visually and the storyline. I mean, it looks like it could have some pretty cool like jump scares, some pretty cool like on edge type things as well. So yeah, I'm pretty keen to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm good for it. And our last trailer for this episode is Winner.
January. So this came out at Sundance in January. However, it's getting a theatrical release very, very soon, September 13th. Director is Susanna Fogel. She did The Addams Family #2, Booksmart, The Spy Who Dumped Me. So kind of meh.
I loved The Spy Who Dumped Me. Really? I thought that was a great movie.
I know that I've watched it. I can't remember anything about it.
Mila Kunis and Old Love from Saturday Night Live. It has the dude from Outlander.
Yeah.
And it's like... It's her boyfriend is a spy, and then he dies, but he's not dead. And Mila Kunis, it just had stupid, funny comedy.
Is that the one that had Zach Galifianakis in it, and they have like a couple of stupid photo shoots or something like that? Is that one?
No.
You know what I'm thinking about, though. Is it? They have the super awkward. Yeah.
It's not that one.
Anywho, yeah, I'm
just picturing the photos in my head now, where she like the line top and it's like you're making me fart.
Yeah, God. Anywho, yeah, so you've done those. I mean, as I said, I know that I've seen that movie. I just can't remember anything about it. So from a starring perspective,
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix.
Cool. From a starring perspective, we've got Amelia Jones. Now, I couldn't put my finger on it at first when I seen her. Kinsey Locke from Lock and Key.
Oh, yep.
So I'm like, fuck it. But yeah, Kinsey Locke from Lock and Key. I mean, what I got in the trailer, she appears to have come a long way in a short period of time. Like, because
Lock and Key was 5 years ago.
No, second season was only 2022, I think it was, when it came out.
No, it was longer than that. I'm sure it was because there's only 3 seasons. The third season came out like 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
All right, we'll check that at some point in time. But yeah, I mean, in any case, it looks like she's come a fair way with her acting and whatnot. It looks pretty good. We've got Catherine Newton. She's done heaps, but recently she was in Abigail. She's Ant-Man in Ant-Man and the Wasp as Cassie. Mm-hmm. She was in Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
Lady Bird. She was also in Paranormal Activity 4.
And she was in one of those repeat movies. Not the birthday one. It was the one. Well, it wasn't a repeat one. It was the one where her and Vince Vaughn swap bodies, and Vince Vaughn's a murderer, and they swap bodies so that Vince Vaughn's murderer goes into her and she goes into him, and they have to swap back like a Freaky Friday thing with the murderer instead. It was actually a really good movie.
I don't know that one. I'm sure that there's something along those lines with Adam Sandler in it, maybe, or Rob Schneider. Anywho, a comedy-esque type movie.
Rob Schneider is a spoon.
Is a carrot. We've also got Connie Britton. For me, she's most known from Nashville, portraying Raina James.
No. She's American Horror Story,
also
brother.
in... Oh, yeah, she is too.
First season American Horror
I forgot
Story.
about that.
She's fantastic in it. And she was her main role is Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
She's the mum in Friday Night Lights.
That's something I actually haven't watched either.
Oh, dude.
I've heard good things.
A lot of people didn't watch it because of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because a lot of people, but the movie and the series are very different things.
Oh, they usually are.
Very different things.
Got more time
the
to tell
TV show
things.
was phenomenal, and it had old mate Kirsten Stewart's husband, the weird one from Civil War.
Yep.
He was in it. It had I can't remember his name, but he would play Gambit in the Wolverine movie, and he was in John Carter.
Yep.
Had him in it. A heap of other actors and stuff.
And then also, speaking of Zach Galifianakis, he's in this as well. So, I mean, we've got, it's more or less a black comedy drama following the life of reality winner. She was someone who leaked Russian intelligence documents during the 2016 US elections. So this is based on true events, although the movie itself is based on the book Who is Reality Winner. So I don't know how loose or tight the book goes to it, but it's a movie based on a book based on real events.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real person leaked US documents of Russia. They made a movie about it.
It looks interesting.
It looks very, very interesting. I'm very, very interested to see how the comedy tones play over the true events.
Yeah,
and how that sort of comes across. So I think that'll be the most interesting part for me. But it looks very, very intriguing.
And just the trailer. I kind of watched the trailer and went, that looks good.
Yeah,
I'll watch that.
It looks good. It does look like a good movie, and one of those ones that'll have a draw to like a really wide crowd as well.
Yep.
She was sentenced to 5 years and 3 months in a federal prison, which I found in it. So she got
there. You go.
So that's actually from what I read, it's the longest sentence for someone who's done that, like leaked documents and whatnot. So
I imagine white-haired guy would have got a lot more, but they never got to him.
I think they got him somewhere now. What's his name? Assange?
Yeah. He still, I thought he was still in one of the embassies or something.
Oh, he jumps around a lot. I think I don't know. I think he might be in jail at the moment waiting a trial or some shit. But no, he got the last place he was in, he got released, I don't know, like 18 months ago or something.
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
there you go.
Anywho, so yeah, I mean, she was released from prison in 2021. I mean, the movie itself, it looks really good. It looks like it's going to have some awesome comedic elements to it from what I can see. I mean, it will be interesting, as I said, to see where it lands in relation to the real life events, how it ties into politics, how she deals with it, and how it's portrayed in the movie, and where I couldn't really tell or can't remember where they finished it up, but I think she might have been at least in the jail clobber, waiting for sentencing or something.
Okay,
So I think
so. I think it's going to be one of those ones where it probably starts where she's like waiting sentencing and it's her telling the story that's led up to that point kind of thing.
That makes sense. And then I don't know like how far into the jail term or whether it would all be before and some after, but I'd like to see some before, during and after type things. Like obviously focus on the lead up to it because I think that's going to be the most interesting part.
Yep.
But also it'd be interesting to see the after as well and sort of what the fallout for her was.
Yep.
And what she's doing now.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, it'll be a good, interesting one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, all right. Okay, before we get onto the movie, we're going to talk about, let's get into some rumours.
Yeah, I suppose that sounds like an idea.
So I've found this one. I don't know anything about these, but I found it interesting. But Remedy Entertainment announced a partnership with Annapurna to bring its connected games Control and Alan Wake to television and film. So I've never heard of Control or Alan Wake, but they're making some games into films and TV.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I suppose the first one I'll lead off with then, because you've spoken about games, is that there is a within the Batman universe, as in Matt Reeves' Batman, they're reportedly got a game in the works. Now,
Gunn turned that down.
I have part 2 to that, where Gunn came out a day later and said, "This ain't fucking happening."
Yeah, Gunn shut that down.
So I thought that was funny. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, that'd be pretty sweet. And then the next day, not happening.
Just a rumor for now, but the Inheritors are supposedly going to be in Spider-Man 4, along with Venom appearing. Now, Venom is the heavy rumored thing because of what Feige said about it's going to be grounded,
for the
just
space
not
and
the
whatnot.
Earth ground.
Yeah.
But the Inheritors, for those who don't know, they're essentially a family of immortal vampires who travel between different multiverses to eat the life force of the totem of that multiverse.
That's a bit wild.
And the totems are the Spider-Man of each multiverse.
Yeah, right.
And so essentially they go through, and that's what leads into the Spider-Verse in the comics.
Okay.
And essentially it's them fighting these immortal vampires that suck the life out of these Spider-Man, and they all team up. And
Okay, that's a pretty cool concept.
so that's them in the comics. I don't know what they're going to be.
MC is pretty good at getting a portrayal across in some way, shape, or form.
And I mean,
so
I don't
that'd be
want to
pretty cool.
I don't want to ruin the comics for people for Spider-Verse who haven't read Spider-Verse, because it has got good endings and stuff. But they're like the major thing in that, besides Spectacular Spider-Man, which is Dr. Octopus's Spider-Man, where his soul is inside Spider-Man's body. Yeah. Because he's essentially the main Spider-Man in that story, and that's where we first meet Spider-Gwen and the anime one and all that kind of stuff. But it should be interesting. They're really, really interesting characters, and they become a major part of the Spider-Man universe in the comics after it. So it'll be interesting to see.
Okay. Breaking news. Viggo Mortensen announced that he is playing Sauron in the new live-action films. And he's wearing the Robert Downey Jr. suit from the Von Doom announcement.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It made me laugh.
Here we go. That's TV. Oh, here we go. Anna Taylor-Joy wants to play Elsa in a live-action Frozen movie. And this is her quote: "All of my siblings have kids now, so I would love for them to be able to say, my aunt is Elsa."
Yeah.
And
Okay.
She looks like, especially with her white hair, she fucking looks like her. So I'm all for that.
The Crow original director on the new remake. Wow. The reviews are brutal. I thought the remake was a cynical cash grab. Not much cash to grab, it seems.
Okay. Alison Brie has been cast as Evil Lynn in the upcoming live-action Masters of the Universe movie.
Nice.
So Alison Brie, for those who don't know, is Community, lots of other stuff.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's fantastic, and I reckon she'd play a fantastic villain because we've never really seen her play a villain. I don't think she was a bitch in Glow.
I was going to say she's got like villain-esque characters, but not a pure villain.
So yeah, that should be interesting.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan says Red Dead Redemption is the game adaptation he wants.
That's been like going back and forth between studios for a long time now. So I imagine it will get made eventually.
Oh.
But in all honesty, it's just a fucking Western movie. It'll just be a Western movie.
Of some kind, yeah.
Yeah,
I've never actually played the game.
It's all right. It was more the Red Dead, the zombie one, the zombie version. That was much more fun. Anna de Armas and Sydney Sweeney film Eden is set to premiere at Toronto Film Festival, running from September 5th to 15th. Expect plenty of star power at the event. I'm interested in this just for obvious reasons.
Fans are campaigning for Damson Idris to take on the mantle of Black Panther, either as T'Challa or T'Challa II.
Oh, who's he again?
He's that guy.
I have no idea who he is.
Neither do I.
All right, that's all I've got for rumours for movies. I've got some TV show ones, but we'll get to them next episode.
Tim Burton says Beetlejuice probably won't happen. I'll be about 100.
What?
Tim Burton says Beetlejuice 3
Beetlejuice 3
probably won't happen.
Yeah.
I'll be
I don't think it's been super well received. So
oh really? There you go.
It's been like it's gone all right, but apparently it's not what everyone expected kind of thing, which is always happens with legacy sequels. I mean,
Bryan Cranston, his name's kicking around again to play Professor X.
Yep. I've never heard that before, but yes, I'm 100% for that. He'd be a fucking great Professor X. He's a great actor, and I reckon he'd fucking kill that. And he's
he would too.
He's young enough. He's old enough, but still that young enough to kind of portray that I've just formed this sort of school, because it all depends what X-Men we're going to get.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Are we going to get our fucking blue and yellow X-Men? Are we going to get individual comic, like X-Men series comic, X-Men? Like, it's hard to tell until it all sort of happens. I did see that Old Love that plays X-23 came out and said she is willing to play X-23 till the day she dies. Which I'm all for.
I
She's
figured
great.
she would be.
Yep.
She's absolutely incredible as it. Like,
Kills
it's
it.
just, if she can come through and do what Hugh did to Wolverine, that'd be awesome.
And I mean, like we've said a million times, give her a TV series.
Oh, fuck yeah. That'd be
Give her a
so
series.
good.
I
So
want a
good.
series of it.
I got a couple more rattle off. So Vincent D'Onofrio, he's always wanted to play Swamp Thing.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. I mean, because we got a Swamp Thing movie. Oh fuck. It'd be nearly 20 years ago now.
I was going to say there's one that was like many years ago. We got a TV show not that long ago.
Yeah, well,
there's
the
CW or
movie,
whatever.
and it had Imogen Bailey in it.
No idea.
She's an
honestly haven't watched
Australian model that used to be in like Ralph magazine and all that kind of stuff, and she got her boobs out in the movie.
it. Fair enough.
That's the only reason I watched it. I was a young fella when it came out, and Imogen Bailey was.
That's you.
Yep, 100%.
Elizabeth Olsen rumored to play Wonder Woman in James Gunn's new DC universe.
I did see that. Yes. Anything else?
Quentin Tarantino sadly confirms his R-rated Star Trek movie is never going to happen.
That is sad because I would love to see Tarantino do it. He's wanted to do it for so long too.
Look, I got a bunch of other little things, but I mean, they sort of rattle around TV shows and Green
All
Lantern.
right. Well, let's move on to the movie for this episode that we are going to talk about. Now, we talked about this trailer 2 episodes
Yeah,
ago.
not that long ago, actually. We spoke about the trailer after the movie had come out.
Well, it's not out in Australia yet, I don't think.
Isn't it?
No.
I thought it was.
It might be because I watched it on one of the special websites
Don't know.
because I couldn't find anywhere else that had it in Australia.
Yeah, could I? To be fair, I didn't look hard.
Yeah, neither do I. So this movie is Duchess, not the Duchess. Duchess, very different movie.
Very different. One's a period piece, one is not.
So essentially, the synopsis of this movie, if you haven't watched the trailer when we told you to watch the trailer, is girl meets boy. She is like a pickpocket, and she's an extremely attractive woman. She wears mini skirts, all that kind of stuff. Clubs, gets guys' attentions, pickpockets them. She's got a piece of shit guy who kind of beats her and makes her do it.
Doesn't seem like that. I didn't quite work out that relationship, to be honest. It was just something that was there. Just a means to an end.
Essentially, just to get her into the situation. And then essentially a dude in a nightclub sees her and is like, damn.
Enthralled.
And so he sort of chases her down. They fall in love. They get married. She finds out he is a diamond dealer.
Yes. Dirty diamond dealer.
And then shit goes sideways. He dies. She comes back for revenge. That's essentially the plot of the movie.
That is pretty much.
Now, obviously,
I'll tell you.
We will give this as well.
After we've just given the plot, but anyhow.
I mean, that was all in the trailer.
That was all in the trailer. Fair enough. I mean, what I liked about this movie is it didn't just go straight into boyfriend's dead. Now it's all about the revenge. They actually had the
it was
build
an hour and
up.
a half until that happened.
Exactly. And then it was like, because they call it a 2-hour movie. It was, as you said, like an hour 15, hour and a half until that happened. And then the revenge thing happened. So I think it was balanced well enough so that you didn't get caught in either side of it.
I personally found that because I was waiting for it to happen, it just wasn't happening. I was like, oh, okay, we're seeing a lot of this relationship. And it actually made you care for the relationship and care for the reason why she did this. And
it even made me question as to whether they've gone for a complete left field turn and that wasn't actually going to happen. Like as in the whole revenge plot would be differently set in that, yes, they may have attacked them, but he didn't die and like, but anywho.
And I loved like my major thing I loved about this film, but like the film was excellent all around. I'll get that out now. I thoroughly watched it and I'll watch it again. The one thing I loved was the fact of when it turned into the revenge part of it. Normally with these revenge movies, they just become super powered essentially. Like they're just really good at everything and all of a sudden like it's just super easy for them to get this revenge. Whereas in this is like, oh no, like it's not easy for her. Like she's got help and stuff, but it's
not easy for her. She's got help and everything that she can do she was doing before she was like going out to do this anyways. Like the key change is her, I'll call it emotional pull. She's lost her will to
she just
actually
doesn't give a fuck if she dies.
Exactly,
kind of thing,
doesn't
so she goes all out.
So rather than, I don't know, maybe there's a pulling a punch element to it. Prior, but after she's just fucking going nuts.
Do you have a list of actors?
So from a director perspective, we've got Neil Marshall. He did 2019 Hellboy. Did Doomsday.
I mentioned that the other day. It's a fantastic little film.
Dog Soldiers. He also did an episode of Game of Thrones. Constantine, one of the episodes of that. Hannibal, Westworld, Lost in Space. So he's got his finger in a few different pies.
If you have not watched Lost in Space, no, Netflix's Lost in Space. That was good.
I watched season 1. It was fucking awesome. Season 2, I think I've watched like 3, maybe 4 episodes. It lost me.
But season 3 is really good.
Okay, so I'll have to get back into that because I started it and it just sort of it just lost me straight away at the start of season 2, and I was like, oh. And I had other things watching, so I went to them.
Fair enough.
And then from a starring perspective, we got Charlotte Kirk. So she's
also the co-writer.
Yep. And Ocean's 8, The Reckoning, and The Lair, both done with Neil Marshall.
I didn't recognize, like I've seen Ocean 8 and I just didn't recognize her in it.
I've actually seen Ocean's 8.
So I don't know if she was a main character or not, but in saying that, it wasn't a very memorable movie.
No. And from what I've seen with all of her roles as well, there were no big movies other than Ocean's 8 that stood out, and everything else was like, because of that, I think, yes, you're right. She probably had not a cameo, but a second part role, and all the other movies, even if she was a lead, like they were lesser known movies, so she could lead them. So she's that. You've got Philip Winchester. He was in The Patriot. Way back when.
That's the main dude.
The main
boyfriend.
Guy. The boyfriend.
See, he looks like I don't know his name. He looks like the guy from Battlestar Galactica, and he was also in not True Calling, Dollhouse.
Right.
with Joss Whedon, like Eliza Dushku and Joss Whedon's show. He was in that as well, and he looks so much like him that I thought it was him, but then there'd be parts where I'd be like, oh no, it's not him. But it just looks so
memorable face.
Whether they're like brothers or something, I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, he was in The Patriot, Thunderbirds, Rogue, Endangered Species.
Like Thunderbirds Go?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got Colm Meaney. Now, he was in Star Trek. So he's the dad. Who you see for like 5 seconds in the film, but I put his name there because he was in Star Trek between 87 and 94 in Next Generation, and then Deep Space Nine from 93 to 99. So I thought that was a cool little tidbit.
So the dude I thought he looked like was Tamo Penniket.
Cool.
Penniket, that guy.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And then we've got Sean Pertwee, Alfred Pennyworth from Gotham. He had an awesome play as well.
He was so good. I loved him in this movie.
He was literally there for comedic relief, and I did not think he was going to be.
I just love the part where, like, I think they make the joke twice.
Do you reckon we can go drop in?
Do you reckon we could stop at the hospital?
You reckon we could just pop into the hospital? Yeah. He's like broken his arm, and then he uses his arm to crack someone with it. He goes, "Oh, regret that, don't I?"
Oh, let's talk about some of our favourite scenes in it. Because did you like the movie?
For me, it was enjoyable, but it's not something that I'm raving about. It was just an enjoyable movie. Throw it on, watch it. It happened. I mean, it's nothing to rave about.
I do like that they didn't go the torture porn route.
Yeah,
because a lot of those revenge movies tend to go the torture porn route. But
I think because this was more of that dark comedy-esque type thing, they were never going to do that. But in any, it does what it needs to. Like, it's just a good throw-on movie that you can sit back and just watch and enjoy. I can't see me watching it again.
Fair enough.
I just personally, there's nothing really drawing. Like, once I've seen that, there's nothing drawing me to watch it again.
What were some of your favourite parts in it?
Favourite parts, I think just the way that the narration happened at the point in time for different things that happened. I think that was done super, super well, and it kept you drawn into the show. I liked the disparity between post-revenge and like after seeking revenge, like the disparity of the character. I really like the way that they did that. They didn't, as you said, she already had the skills. She just applied those skills in a different way. So yeah, I thought that was really good. And I actually quite liked the way the story was told, in that it didn't, it came out and said, right, I'm a crook. I deal in blood diamonds, in or out. And then she says, well, yeah, sure, I'm in. And then they both go on that journey rather than like a push-pull of should I, shouldn't I? Did I make the right decision? Did I not make the right decision? She just said, fuck yeah, I'm in, and just went with it. So I quite like that part of the story.
In real life, that people would act like that, I personally think, of if you're that deeply in love with someone and that situation happens. If you've kind of lived a bit of a shit life, like she had with the whole situation she was in at the start of the film, she might be like, sure.
Yeah, I really liked that element to it. The way the story was told, I think it did what it was meant to do, and I quite liked it. The action scenes, they were sweet.
I love the elevator scene.
The elevator scene was probably the better of the fighting scenes. The shooting scenes were good in that they were a little more believable. They're not just got him, shoot, got him, bang, got him. It was much more realistic in that, right? We're shooting over the top of a car, back like trying to hit something and coming around a corner trying to hit something.
I did like when they're in the car park and they're like just all just shooting and like it's like that's probably how
exactly.
We're Australian, we wouldn't really know.
But it seemed more realistic.
Yeah.
Like rather than the one shot got him, one shot got him. It was a little more realistic in that regard.
As opposed to Borderlands, which we will talk about at some point because I watched that last night and fuck me.
Okay, I'll have to get on that one at some point.
Complete reverse stormtrooper right there.
So yeah, I think it generally had a lot of good things going for it. It just didn't have anything that was fucking wow for me.
That's fair enough. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed the story. I think the story worked really well. It kept me intrigued the whole time. Like I'm not going to rush out and watch it again, like we were saying. but it was a thoroughly enjoyable story for me. I will watch it again at some point. I thought everyone acting in it was great.
Yeah, the acting was good.
I love the scene where they're torturing that guy and she just gets the iron out and just fucking burns his balls.
That hurt.
And then it's like, just cool yourself down.
Yeah, that hurt.
Or
Just
water.
watching the steam come off. Oh.
Painful. The one thing I didn't like, and it was just like completely pointless, was when they're in the top of the bar and, you know, they're doing, she's like, they're recruiting old mate. And then that other chick appears in the background and it's like, oh, she's here to help us. And literally the only thing she does is dresses in a skanky dress and is a decoy for like 2 seconds.
Something tells me that she probably had more in it and it's been cut.
Because like they introduce her like it's a big deal and then all of a sudden it's just like, she's done.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
From a downside, like it's hard because whilst the movie didn't have any like massive wow moments, it also didn't have many like fucking why did you do that moments either. It was just very got the point.
On the
just
line.
Sort of, yeah, it was just exactly. And probably the two things that were kind of like for me is the way she carries around that fucking vodka bottle. That was just annoying. Like I don't know why they did that. It was just like no. It just didn't look right on the screen or anything. Like, but anywho, and then there was a moment where the one of the friends, I can't, because you had Sean's character, the Alfred Pennyworth's character, and the other guy.
Yep.
There was one moment where he said something which was very much like, "We need to watch her and be careful of her because she's straying down a very, very dark path."
Yep.
Now let's go help her.
Yeah.
I was kind of like,
but he kind of. He even says like he's very much a like once I say yes to something I'm 100% in kind of person.
Yeah. I got that.
He says yes, so he has to help her then kind of thing.
I
like
got
the
that.
The code of honor thing. But I mean, I do get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But they tried to explain it.
Yeah, I think it was just too. I think it could have been eased a little bit differently. He could have either been, yeah, I'm here to help and I'm fucking on board, or we need to watch her and be careful of her and ease her through it. So either bring that in earlier and sort of escalate with her, if that makes sense, through to the end bit, or just get him straight on board with fucking shit up and carry it through.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to say.
Makes it hard when you don't have your notes.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it's a definite watch for people. In my opinion.
Yeah, definitely go out and give it a watch.
If you
it
like,
is
especially if you
entertaining.
like actions, and it was weird. It's a weird combo of like rom-com action revenge film. It's very odd.
I think the first 10 minutes is rom-com.
Yeah.
I think it then goes into an action film. I think it then goes back to a rom-com.
Yep.
And then it goes to the revenge film.
Yeah.
And sprinkled through the whole way is a little bit of dark comedy.
Yes, very much. All right, so 1 out of 10. We haven't done this for anything.
Fuck, I forgot we were doing that, haven't we? What was it? Packs.
Packs, that's it. Yeah, 1 out of 10 packs. What would you give it?
It's one of those ones where I need to try and remember, because like you give it a pack rating and then you think, oh fuck, but I also gave that other thing that same pack rating and I hammered that other one. I think I'd give this one a 7. The reason I'd give it a 7 is because it was a good watch. I'm not going out to watch it again. Like from a rewatchability, it's not for me, but it was a good watch. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think I honestly would probably have to. I'd say probably the same thing there. I reckon I'd probably give it a 7.
Yeah. 7 packs.
7 packs.
Except you'll give it a rewatch.
I'll give it 7 packs and a rewatch. That's right.
7 packs and 1 card.
7 packs with a limited edition with a super rare. All right. That's the main things we've got for this episode. So I've got a little tidbit here. So this has got to do with TV shows and stuff, but we'll talk about it now in this episode. So Dead Boys Detectives has been cancelled.
I've seen this.
Now, they didn't say why, but from this, I learned about all the stuff surrounding Neil Gaiman at the moment. I don't know if you heard any of this.
No, I haven't.
So a podcast, I can't remember the name of the podcast, but it released a 3-episode expose thing on these 2 women who claimed they got sexually assaulted by Neil Gaiman.
Right. Okay.
Now they were, from what I understand, and this is all allegedly as well, from what I understand is they were dating him at the time, or like it was all consensual sex and stuff like that, but it was rough sex that they didn't consent to or something like that. But since this has come out, they released another episode of the podcast, which has another woman who's claiming sexual assault. And then there's been another 2 women that have come out since then. So there's like 5 women that are claiming sexual assaults against Neil Gaiman. So everyone thinks that is why Dead Boy Detectives has been cancelled.
Because he was heavily involved in that show, wasn't he?
He wrote the comic book.
I know that he wrote the comic book.
I believe he was an executive producer and all that kind of stuff on it. So it's horrible this stuff has happened to these women, blah, blah, blah. But it is very sad that show got cancelled because it was a very, very good show. Then people are like, oh, is Sandman going to get cancelled? Well, because Sandman season 2 is in post-production at the moment. So it will get released. I imagine Netflix has spent too much money on it. But the question is, will it get another season, which I highly doubt if they've cancelled.
If they've cancelled that one, but I think it'll also depend on how much involvement Neil Gaiman's had in the show itself, other than writing.
Yeah, I think he wrote some of the first season episodes. I'm not sure about the second season and stuff. So I doubt we'll be getting much Neil Gaiman stuff for the rest. I'm pretty sure he's been cancelled.
Okay.
And if you want to look up the allegations and stuff, go for it. I kind of had just a quick glance at what was happening because I didn't know anything about it until I saw that, and then someone's gone, "Oh, I wonder if it's the allegations against him."
Sure.
And I'm like, "What allegations?" And discovered those. Went, "Oh,
fair enough."
And there you go. That happened, and then on top of that, we've just got a little bit of like toy news. So there are Takara Toys, which is a Japanese toy company in Japan, which is what all the Transformer toys originally came from.
Okay.
So if people don't know the story of Transformers, I'll quickly do that just because I like explaining it. But there is an episode of Netflix of The Toys That Made Us that explains it all. Essentially...
I've not watched that. I've heard that's actually a great show.
So essentially... America, Hasbro created G.I. Joe. And they wanted to sell it to other markets. They tried to sell it to Japan, and Japan were like, yeah, we don't really want American soldiers after what just happened in the war.
Can't imagine why they wouldn't want
that. But they took the toy and they turned it into essentially the same thing, but his skin was see-through and he had like all robotics and stuff in it.
Okay.
And then that eventually merged into 2 different toy lines, one called Diaclone and one called Takara Toys.
So this was all through the 50s?
And this is like 80s.
Post-war.
I think it is.
Oh, later. Okay.
Like after the war and stuff like that. But it was like a long period of time.
Yeah, okay. No,
and eventually these toys mutated into like smaller scale G.I. Joe things, essentially, blah, blah, blah. And eventually they turned into Transformers.
Okay.
And then Hasbro licensed the Transformers, their toys back, and combined them all. They met up with Marvel, and Marvel created the storyline for all the characters and stuff, and they released the cartoon. Sure. But it's just funny that they ended up buying their own toy back, essentially. And that to be Transformers. So Takara Toys is releasing a set of limited edition like amalgamation toys of different...
So they're basically taking our money.
Different lines. So they have Megatron type Godzilla, which essentially is a Godzilla that transforms into Megatron. They have Optimus Prime type MFS3 Kikiru, which is like I don't know, it's merged with something else, but there's also like a Robotech one. But my favorite is they are releasing an Optimus Prime Shield D Liger. So that it's the Shield Liger from Zoids that turns into fucking Optimus Prime. And I'm all for it. Look at the picture.
Fuck.
Yeah. Take my money.
God
it looks
damn.
amazing. I think there's like 5 different toys.
So dangerous being an adult with adult money and wanting to buy things that you shouldn't.
But then you have kids that suck all your money from you and want to play with your toys. You're not touching my toys, John. They're my toys.
So AJ, who has more toys?
I think my son, both my sons, but I have more expensive toys that he wants to play with all the time.
Okay, are we going a per model thing as an individual toy?
I have more toys than
So you stand corrected.
I think I actually counted my minis at one point, not including 3D printed minis, and I had like nearly 4,000 minis.
I'm not surprised.
So
I'm not surprised. The other, like, it was very funny you say that, and like talking turtles and whatnot. A couple of years ago, I did a count of how many models I painted in the year.
Mm-hmm. I did that.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, we were both doing it.
Yeah, I think I got up to about 400, and even that I was kind of like, fuck. That is a lot. That I like. Just at the end of the year, it was at about 400. I'm like, fucking hell! Like, how the fuck did? Like, granted, some of them are just like small pieces of random terrain. Like, some might have been like a small chest or like a treasure chest and things like that. But still, to be 400, I'm like, fucking hell! And I still have a lot that are grey.
Oh yeah. My biggest thing is I've got a lot of board games that have minis that I wanted to paint, and I just never got around to it. But yeah.
It happens to the best of us.
All right. That's the end of the episode.
It is.
Thank you very much for listening, guys. So this episode will be out on the Friday, and then in a couple of days on Monday, you will get another episode.
Sure,
and we're going to keep, for the moment, keep attempting to do that. In the future, we have a couple of other plans, but we'll talk about that when it happens.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys.
Peace out.
You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever all good podcasts are listened to. On YouTube, you can check out the latest episodes just after the podcast is uploaded.
Follow along the journey on our Facebook and Instagram. You follow me, Frantic Brock, on Instagram, and you can follow AJ, Weird Art by AJ.
See ya.